Hello, Business Mama. Welcome back to another episode of the Step Into Your Voice podcast. In the last couple of weeks, I spent more time on Threads than on any other social media platform. And I really love Threads because I feel it's a space where you can truly connect with other business owners. It's not very flashy like Instagram. When I go on TikTok, I see only videos that I'm not interested in, so I don't even like to hang out there. And then on LinkedIn, I rarely go. So I love Threads because you can share your thoughts and your opinions, and it's actually inviting to comment on other people's threads. And because I am spending a lot of time on this app, I see people posting about how they set goals for them to be featured on other podcasts. So they are looking for different speaking opportunities. And this is why I decided to do this episode on how to pitch to podcasts, because I feel that I have a very different approach than what I'm currently seeing. Also, as a podcast manager, I pitch to podcasts on behalf of my clients, or I've seen the pitches they are getting from other business owners or from other PR companies. And it made me realize that my approach is slightly different. So if you are also a business mom who wants to get featured in 2026 on other people's podcasts, maybe you sent a pitch email, or maybe you commented to a thread or a Facebook post, I would love to be on your podcast. Today, I want to challenge you to think again on how you could do this better. And all I'm asking you is for you to be a human being, act as one, even when you are sending that pitch or post that comment. Not long ago, I stumbled on a podcast episode, and the host was sharing how she was visiting Mount Jordan, and she and I think it was her partner or her husband, they wanted to visit a mosque, and they were not able to locate it. So she saw someone on the street and just asked that person, "Hey, how do I get to the mosque?" And the person responded, "This is not how you do it." And then she said, "Yeah, okay, we are lost. All we want to do is to get to the mosque." And again, the person said, "This is not how you properly ask a question. You say hello, you acknowledge that person, and then you talk about what you want, because this is actually what being a human being means, right? You don't go straight to the subject." And that made me wonder, is this a cultural thing? Because I'm based in Europe, and it is not the fact that all of us enjoy small talk, like I don't, but it's about the way you ask. And sometimes, for example, when we go to a foreign country, we try to at least say hello in that language because we want to see the other person. And I really do feel this is so important. It's not always only about what we want. Working with clients, and now that I have my own podcast, I'm getting emails, and all I see is people sharing, "I would love to be on your podcast. I would make a great guest," or "I want to work with you. I want to help you get more downloads," things like that. Or even the pitches where they want to help me grow my YouTube channel. And all those pitches are about, "I can do this, I can help you with that, look at me, how amazing I am." But I feel that they kind of forget to be a real human, and maybe instead of just talking about them, they could ask me, how is my journey so far? What do I enjoy? Or maybe is there something that I learned in this process? Maybe they could ask me if I'm interested in hiring help. Would I be interested in having more guests? Because this is my 10th episode and I only had one interview so far. So here is where I believe that the biggest difference between me and other business owners who do podcast pitching is that for me, a podcast pitch is just a conversation starter. Whether I'm pitching myself, even though lately I haven't done this because I really don't have a lot of time overlapping with US business hours, or maybe when I'm pitching my clients, the thing that I like to focus on is asking questions. Yes, I'm going to share a little bit about myself or my clients. The main thing I'm doing is asking questions. So this is a very short episode, and the only takeaway that I really want you to take with you is this: act like a human being and ask questions. Don't make those general bold statements. I want to be on your podcast. I am the best guest you will ever have. Even though that could be true, we actually like those people who want to connect with us first, and then we can learn more about them. So when you pitch yourself, let the podcast host be the judge of whether you are the perfect podcast guest for them or not. There is no one else other than the host herself who knows what's best for them and their podcast and their audience. There is a caveat here though. The only time I've seen this type of pitches work is when a big name, bigger than the podcast host, is maybe launching a book or a new project and they do a podcast tour, and obviously this big name has a bigger podcast or maybe a more successful business. Think about Amy Porterfield or Jenna Kutcher. When they launched their books, they did a podcast tour, and obviously they were guests on smaller podcasts. And obviously, who would say no to Amy Porterfield or Jenna Kutcher if you have a similar audience, right? I would be flattered if a really big name would reach out to me to come on my podcast, and most probably I would say yes, especially if our audiences align. So keep this in mind next time when you are going to send a cold pitch. Maybe this is one of your goals in 2026. If you want your cold pitch to work, then the only thing you need to do is ask questions. It's really that simple. I hope that this is going to serve you in 2026. If you are an online business mom and you support other business women, other online business women in your business, I would love to hear from you in 2026. I want to have more conversations with other women entrepreneurs. I want us to be able to support each other, to do more collaborations and grow our businesses together. You can leave comments on Spotify or YouTube. I would love to hear from you. If you are going to test this new approach, this approach I shared with you, let me know if it works for you. You can test this whether you are posting on Threads, Facebook, whatever platform you are posting, or if you are sending a pitch email. I'm curious to see what responses you will be getting. Let me know in the comments. Have a great day.